What's up and welcome to Flashback. Now that we've returned from smashing NA at Rift Rivals, we can get back to business in the EU LCS. Let's see what happened in Week 4. The action got started when H2K looked for their first win of the split against Vitality. Even though H2K searched high and low, it was Vitality and Cabochard who found the fights, picked up the kills, and easily grabbed the win to keep pace at the top of the table.
20 minutes in and Vitality are knocking down the front door.
Next up, Schalke 04 were looking to bounce back from a poor Week 3 showing and take care of business against Giants Gaming. It was a wild one as both teams traded kills, fights, and the momentum all game long.
Giants finding the fight and Steelback can't quite get the shutdown, but he does before falling for the triple kill.
But when it looked like the match was destined to go full Fiesta mode, Nukeduck's Kaisa finally brought order to the chaos and got Schalke back on track with a much-needed victory.
And who knows, maybe after this game, it really is the year of the duck.
The Unicorns of Love opted into a surprise funnel comp as they battled Roccat in Game 3 of the day. But after a disastrous start, the Unicorns' game plan quickly started to unravel. And Roccat capitalized on their advantage as they pushed the pace and poured on the pressure.
Everything going south. Cold gonna flash over the wall. Challenging Smite comes in, a beautiful skewer.
The Unicorns did their best to hold on, even grabbing a Baron in the process. But they didn't have it for long, as Roccat cleaned house in the ensuing fight to help pick up their 4th win of the split. After working together to bring the Rift Rivals trophy home to Europe, Fnatic and Splyce were on deck to do battle. It was Splyce who got hot fast and jumped out to a big early lead, but Fnatic kept themselves in the game with a clutch Baron rush. Unfortunately for the boys in orange, the Baron simply wasn't enough, and after they got caught out and aced in the river,
It just feels so good when you're that fed, and he's gonna bring it home. Beautiful performance from Splyce.
it was the Splyce show the rest of the way as they put the league on notice with a huge upset victory. We rounded out day 1 with a clash of titans between G2 Esports and Misfits in the match of the week. Both teams were sitting at 6-0, and it was time to finally settle who was the best in EU. G2 controlled the game early with decisive macro play, but after nearly 30 patient minutes, Misfits finally found their engage and rocked G2 for 4 kills and a Baron.
Now Fari's starting to clean up the Mundo unkillable. Misfits turning it back.
And once the momentum was theirs, Misfits held on to it as Mickey X found a gigantic flank onto the G2 backline, leading his squad to a massive comeback and locking in first place for Misfits. After a big day packed with action and huge upsets, the teams went home to rest and recharge before hitting the Rift again on Saturday. We got things started with the Unicorns of Love looking to keep H2K winless. It was exiled Zoe that paddled H2K and gave Unicorns all the magic they needed to portal jump into the lead.
Exile! That's just so gross.
And even though it got a little messy, the Unicorns' new bot laner, Neon, popped off to secure the win and put the final nail in H2K's 0-8 coffin. After winning a bet on the Euphoria podcast, Splyce and Odoamne had a new cheerleader when they took on Schalke 04. But it was Schalke who were getting all the KILLS in a dominant showing that brought Splyce back down to earth and netted Schalke their first 2-0 week of the split.
For Schalke 04 fans, this is redemption. They will close out the week 2-0.
Then, it was G2 Esports gunning for a bounce-back win against Giants Gaming. Things looked bad for G2 early on because of Joko's terrifying play on Nocturne.
It's a perfect 2 down. Giants collapse in the river.
But like clockwork, G2 methodically climbed their way back into the lead and looked like they were well on their way to victory. However, when Perks got picked off in the top lane, it was disaster for G2, who gave over Baron and their lives in the process. And with G2 reeling, Giants landed the knockout blow to secure one of the biggest upsets of the split so far.
The man of the hour steps up. It's Betsy, it's Giants, it's G2 falling to pieces in the bottom lane.
Leaving Misfits wondering if they perhaps went a little bit too hard during Friday's game. After dropping their first game of the week, Fnatic were out for redemption against Roccat. Fnatic methodically built up an early game lead, but their big break came when they picked off Memento and took Baron. From there, it was clean and controlled as Fnatic demolished Roccat for the win.
And this is a clean ace for Fnatic and it's gonna be the game.
We rounded out Week 4 with a hype matchup between Misfits and Vitality. It was intense from the beginning, with crazy close back and forth fights. But once Misfits came out on top in a hectic mid-lane fight, they left Vitality in the dust to close out Week 4 with a perfect 8-0 record and as the clear-cut best team in Europe. And that's us for Week 4. Misfits remain undefeated at the top of the table with G2, Vitality, and Fnatic chasing at their heels. Week 5 is going to be hype because it brings back the first round of rematches, which means our match of the week is a grudge match between Fnatic and Misfits. Can Fnatic get revenge and deliver Misfits their first loss of the season? There's only one way to find out. Make sure to tune in on Friday, July 20th when the EU LCS action continues at 5:30 p.m. CEST. You won't want to miss it.